The two villains of the planets, Saturn and Pluto, in a positive aspect. March 28th, 2026. What could possibly happen? We're going to talk about this Saturn sextile Pluto aspect, this very rare and exciting astrological aspect for the whole collective and each of the 12 sun, moon, and rising signs. Welcome, everybody. My name is Meg Moonbeam. Thanks for joining me on my channel today. For those of you who have maybe never seen me before, I am a Western astrologer, mystic, and musician from Canada. And I'm very happy to share the gift of astrology with you, especially during these times when we've got these crazy ass aspects and things happening. This is really, really wild. And I'm very happy to do this video today because this is something positive. This is something that myself and many other astrologers have been waiting for and very grateful that we have happening. Saturn sextile Pluto, the two malefics. Okay, we're going to talk about this. Hello, everyone. Just want to take a look in the live chat. I missed doing. Did I do live streams? I've been in Alberta for the past week. I literally just got back, walked in the door like an hour ago, set everything up. I don't think I did a live stream on YouTube or Rumble in the past week. So missed you guys. Hope everybody is doing well. And yes, Tim, thank you. We might have indeed found our new home. So fingers crossed. I'll keep you guys tuned in. How's it going, everybody? Vera, hello. Hi, MJ. How's it going? Thank you, Deborah. Aw, thank you. You're so sweet. Hello, back to England. I am half British, so hello to all my British soul fam out there. XYZA says, hi, Pisces here in San Antonio. Ooh, I love San Antonio. I've been there one time. Beautiful, beautiful. Hello, Claudia. Nice to see you. Okay, before we get into the astrology, just a couple housekeeping things. First of all, I'd really appreciate if you like this video, hit subscribe, and leave a comment below to help with the channel's growth. That is greatly appreciated. And also want to share that I do offer personal astrology readings. I have a membership on my website, megmoonbeam.com, premium and astrology club membership. I do courses, webinars, all that stuff. You can go check out my website in the description box below. And in particular, coming up in April, I'm hosting an updated astrology advance course for 5 days straight, from Monday, April 13th to Friday, April 17th. Those 5 days in a row at 12 p.m. Eastern, I will be live to share. This is like an astrology level 2 course, if you will. So I have an astrology beginners on my website already. This one, we're going to dive deep into astrological house systems, degrees, interceptions, the aspects. And this updated advanced course includes nodes of the moon, as well as transits, the basics and applications of transits. So if you'd like to join me, I am offering a 50% off discount code from now until the last day of the course, April 17th. You can use code ADVANCE50 to sign up. You also get included in this not just over 20 hours of course video content with unlimited replay access. You also get over 250 pages of my personal notes of everything we're talking about. And I am also offering a 50% discount on my astrology beginners course. If you want to take that before the advance starts. And the discount code for that is beginners50. Also want to mention over on my astrology club membership, this upcoming Wednesday, March 25th at 6 p.m. Eastern, we're going to do our third astrology club class. And this is going to be on derivative houses. Derivative houses is a really cool astrological method where you can basically see anybody in your life, any particular person, through your astrological chart. So each of your children are represented by a certain house. Every single one of your husbands, wives, exes, future lovers, they all show up in your chart. Aunts, uncles, sisters, brothers, everybody, best friends. So very excited to share derivative houses. If you'd like to join our astrology club, sign up is under the memberships tab on megmoonbeam.com. Okay, how are we feeling? I'm curious to hear from you guys that are here in our live crew today. How are we feeling, just like gut level, with Saturn sextile Pluto? Saturn is sextile Pluto right now. I'm filming this video on Monday, March 23rd in the evening Eastern time, but this aspect is going to be exact Saturday, March 28th at 6:11 p.m. Eastern time. So I'm curious how you're all feeling about this. Ooh, it's a little bit of a foreboding, kind of creepy feeling, if you will, just because these are the two malefic planets. But we do not need to fear, okay, because this is a positive aspect. So I'm going to be breaking this down for all of us. MJ says, I'm feeling good. Yes, I'm feeling good with it too. Tim says, feel like chains are breaking. I agree with you, Tim. Definitely chains are breaking. Okay. Saturn and Pluto are no joke planets. We're going to be talking about this. XYZABC62 says, I feel like I can breathe. Well, I'm very happy that you feel like you can breathe because it's very important to be able to breathe. I'm personally very excited because I'm a Scorpio. Scorpio is ruled by Pluto. I've got my moon in Capricorn and a whole lot of Capricorn in my chart ruled by Saturn. So I'm very excited for this aspect. If you are a Scorpio, Capricorn, or Aquarius, sun, moon, or rising, this is extremely positive and benefic. Okay. It's good for all of us. And I'm going to go through 12 sign readings after we talk about what this means for the whole collective. But in particular, Scorpios, Capricorns, and Aquarius, sun, moon, risings, this is very, very good for us. Okay. The visionary Eric says, feeling wonky. Interesting. Kamesh says, I'm feeling some anxiety as we put an offer on a house that has been accepted. Congratulations. Going into this week and beyond has my heart racing. I'm Libra, Cancer moon. It's going to be all good, Kamesh, sending lots of love your way. Oh, we've got Sunny in the chat. Sunny's a fellow Scorpio too. So this is good for us and all our fellow Scorpios, Capricorns, and Aquarians. So yeah, some of us were feeling excited about it. Some of us are feeling like it's also very much about reality checks and responsibility and our shadow side. Okay. So these are the two malefic planets, the two most intense planets, right? Does anybody remember the last time Saturn and Pluto were in an exact major aspect? Does anybody? Let's see if we got any other really good astrologers out there. Who knows when was the last time Saturn and Pluto were in an exact major aspect and what happened? See if anybody in the live chat. Of course, I knew Sunny was going to freaking get it. Moon in Aquarius. Our genius Sunny here. 2020 on, you know what? Let me bring up the chart. Before we talk about this, okay, before we talk about Saturn sextile Pluto, March 28th, what this means for us right now, let's take a Saturnian look back at history, okay, and remind ourselves what it was that set off the craziness of the past 6 years. It was Saturn and Pluto, okay? And Jupiter was there too, which is really interesting. So let me bring this up. Let's take a look. Let's not get freaked out. Everybody remain calm. Hold on to your hats. Okay. We are never going to have anything as fucked up as this again. Let me be very, very clear. Okay. So January 12th, 2020, Saturn and Pluto were conjunct at 22 degrees Capricorn with the sun, with Jupiter, with the South Node, and with Mercury, all in Capricorn. not only were Saturn and Pluto conjunct in Capricorn, which Pluto in Capricorn was freaking brutal. Okay, 2008 to 2024. That's freaking brutal. Saturn is at home in Capricorn, freaking brutal. So Saturn was in a home sign, but this was a Capricorn degree. So it was a double Capricorn Saturn-Pluto conjunction. Conjunctions are the strongest astrological aspects, right? When two heavenly bodies are in the same place from our Earth's perspective. And yes, Susan, yes, to kill or be killed degree. And let's keep it real, okay? A lot of people got killed because of the you-know-whats in the past 6 years, right? And yeah, Sunny, during a Capricorn season. There will never be something as malefic as this again. Let me be very clear. You have, everybody listening to this right now, you survived something that was the height of malefic energy. What do I mean by malefic energy? Villainous, the dark side. Saturn and Pluto are the villains of the planets. And they were conjunct in Capricorn at a Capricorn degree with the sun there, with Mercury there, and Jupiter expanding it. The dark side had power. And they knew this. That's why they did everything they did at this time, because they all do astrology. Okay? The system, the matrix system, likes to say that astrology isn't real. Meanwhile, they use astrology. And they did the darkest thing that they ever did to the whole world using astrology, Saturn-Pluto conjunction. So if you remember, it was around this time that videos started to come out from China of people dropping down to the ground and, oh my God, everybody's dying. We're all going to die. It's a pandemic. You need to stay in your house, lockdown. Neptune was in Pisces. It was easy to lie. It was easy to brainwash. It was easy to mind control, right? Neptune's not in Pisces anymore. Neptune is in Aries, and we've got a stellium of planets in Aries, and the astrology is very different now compared to the last time we had Saturn and Pluto in a major aspect. And it's not a conjunction, which conjunctions can go either way. This is a sextile. This is a positive aspect. So thank God. Okay, you guys, thank goodness. Because we are not going to experience what happened last time these two were in an exact positive aspect. But there's themes coming up from that time. Specifically, one of my astrological predictions I'm going to make today is I think we are going to see karmic payback for what was done during that time. Because there was a lot that was not okay. A lot of people that we don't even know, elites losing their power behind the scenes, people like Bill Gates, people like, many politicians, many people, Anthony Fauci, that did things, made people feel safe, made people feel like certain things were okay when it was actually the complete opposite. So I really feel like with the Saturn sextile Pluto, we're at this full circle moment. We're 6 years after the last time they were together. And there's karma. Saturn takes time. You guys got to remember, Saturn is not fast. Granddaddy Saturn rules time. So isn't it interesting that it's been 6 years. That's a long time. And have we seen any justice? I don't know about you guys, but I haven't seen any justice yet. There's a lot of people still walking around that screwed up the whole world and lied to the whole world and did a lot of really horrible things that we haven't seen that justice yet. We haven't seen that karmic payback yet. And I think part of the blessing of this Saturn sextile Pluto, and some of you guys might go, "Oh my God, Meg, this is so negative. How can you say that?" Well, sorry, I'm a Scorpio with my moon in Capricorn, so I will say that because that's how the universe works, right? Call to the universe says energy lockdowns will not succeed. I agree with you. Okay, so they, and when I say they, I think those darker forces, they will try to use the power of this Saturn sextile Pluto to do some messed up things, but it's not going to work this time. It is not going to work this time. Because actually what they did in 2020 completely blew up in their faces, completely backfired. So I don't think the energy lockdowns, I don't think the war lockdown, this is with the astrology that we have right now, this stuff is not going to work. This stuff is not going to work. Okay. So I think there is karmic justice coming. I think there is real deal truths and reality checks about what the heck has been going on here coming. Neptune is now out of Pisces in Aries, conjunct Saturn, and also sextile Pluto. Interesting, right? If you have anything, so not only if you're a Scorpio, Capricorn, Aquarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising, or if you have anything between 2 to 8 degrees of Aries or Aquarius, you will be most affected by this. Or if you have anything between 2 to 8 degrees of the fire air signs, you will be most affected by this. We notice historically that when Saturn and Pluto come together in exact aspects, these bring huge world change events, huge shifts in consciousness. As I shared, the last time was 2020. And we all know what happened directly after that exact conjunction. That was on January 12th, 2020. Pluto, the planet of transformation, is supporting Saturn in transforming our systems and structures of life. So there's a stability here, right? Saturn is stability and the structures of life, the matrix, reality. Saturn rules reality, the structure of reality. Pluto is transformation, and Pluto in Aquarius is about change, right? Huge change bringing us into the age of Aquarius. So these two malefics in a positive aspect, I think, is a huge divine protection. I just keep feeling psychically I keep hearing karmic payback. Some of you may not like me saying that. I like justice coming. Justice has already been served. Even if we don't, I think that there will be things where we see that out in the world, but even if that weren't to happen out in the world, there's universal justice. There's spiritual justice, which is the highest form of justice, right? And Saturn is also stabilizing and easing our leap into the future of Aquarius. So around this time, we're definitely going to have huge breakthroughs for the world and humanity, technological breakthroughs, humanitarian breakthroughs, revolution, protest breakthroughs, truths being revealed that break through and wake up the whole consciousness. We're going to the next level now. It feels like we've reached a critical mass of people that are conscious of what's been going on, and that, which is very Pluto and Aquarius, and that brings a stability, Saturn, for us to be going further into this wake up and age of Aquarius transition. Saturn sextile Pluto brings a lot of boldness, bravery, and strong personal empowerment. So even if you're not a Scorpio, Capricorn, or Aquarius ruled by Pluto or Saturn, any sign that you are, this is a badass aspect, okay, for getting things done, for being bold, for being in your confidence, for starting something new, for trusting in the universe, for reassessing your responsibilities and your work and going to the next level, right, of who you truly are, your authenticity, Pluto and Aquarius. So this is super, super powerful, and I'm excited to get into each of the 12 signs in a little bit having to do with this aspect. This is a pretty rare aspect. The last time that we had Saturn sextile Pluto was 2013. We will not have Saturn exactly sextile Pluto again until 2047. So it doesn't happen super often, right? This aspect is happening at a Leo degree. And it's interesting that 5 degrees. And it's interesting that the moon is in Leo at the exact time of the aspect on March 28th, 2026, 6:11 p.m. Eastern. And you know what's interesting too? Just to bring this chart up again of when the pandemic started, right? Saturn conjunct Pluto, the moon was also in Leo. So at the exact time of the Saturn sextile Pluto that we're about to have this week, moon is going to be in Leo at 18 degrees. Last time we had Saturn and Pluto in exact aspect, the moon was in Leo 17 degrees. That's 1 degree off out of a lot of degrees that we have in astrology, right? So there's no coincidences in life, right? So what are the chances, you guys, that this time that we have this aspect and the last time that we had Saturn and Pluto in exact aspect, it's only the moon is in the same sign, only 1 degree off. That's a 1 in 360 chance. Okay. So the moon in Leo, what is Leo all about? Leo is highlighting famous people, people in the spotlight, politicians, celebrities, entertainment, our hearts, our joys and pleasures in life, right? It has to do with sexual affairs. It has to do with sex. It has to do with risky investments. It has to do with children. What's been going on with children and teenagers and kids in school, right? So tuning into our inner child, I think, with the Saturn sextile Pluto is something very powerful to do as well. Like, what makes you happy? What makes you joyful? What connects you to your inner magic? What does your inner child want to do? What are you passionate about from that inner child level? And are you doing that? Right? Moon in Leo, the last time we had this, when there was the Saturn Pluto conjunction 2020, that to me felt like an attack on our inner children, an attack on love, an attack on the heart, an attack on creative expression and passions. And it really messed up the energy of the planet, right? Things have not felt fun. Has anybody noticed that? It hasn't really been fun since January 12th, 2020, right? So this Saturn Pluto aspect happening at a Leo degree with the moon in Leo when it's exact, we're invited to tune into fun and play and our inner children, which is so important. And we can bring some of those passions into our work, into our day-to-day life, systems and structures of life. We can have major healing breakthroughs. Pluto is very much about healing. towards issues that our inner children may be holding, right? We can have around the time of this Saturn sextile Pluto this week, next week, even I think it's within a strong 5-degree orb until middle of April, if I'm not mistaken. I think we're going to have major truths revealed about children, the programming of children, maybe even SEXTRAFFICKING. I don't know if I can say that word, but you guys know what I mean if you can spell. Which is heavy, but that kind of stuff needs to come out for us to be able to move forward and heal as a society, right? Sunny says, totally been feeling this. Do something new. Be bold. Dare to dream. Dare to act. Things are moving forward. Finally. Yes. Totally. And I've personally been really feeling that too, Sunny and everybody. Like there's some major changes going on in my personal life. And there have been some moments where it feels a little bit scary and daunting because it's something completely new. But I've been kind of working with my inner child in, how can we play with this? How can we actually make this an adventure? How can we bring fun into this? How does my inner child feel about this? Right? Do you guys remember when you're a kid, you don't have as many fears? You're more vulnerable, for sure, when you're a child. You're more naive, right? But when you're a kid, you're not as scared of stuff, right? Life is more fun. Life is more magical. And this is something that we're really missing in our lives and has been so programmed out of us, right? And I feel like this Saturn sextile Pluto at a Leo degree is helping to stabilize our inner child dreams, bring more creative expression, bring more fun into our lives, into being our most badass selves. We are creators. We are master manifestors in this physical reality as souls having a human experience, right? So, very powerful astrological aspect. I can't highlight this enough. I think that if you work with this consciously, if you are bold, like Sunny just said, that word bold and brave at this time, and you let go of fear and you tune into your inner child and move forward fearlessly and focus on stability and the reality checks of what's going on and what actually serves you. This is amazing, positive turn of events. Saturn and Pluto are supporting us. Now, these are the two malefics, after all. Okay, so there can be, for some of us, some intense truths being revealed at this time, some intense things. Like I feel like many of us can be having things from childhood coming up because it's happening at a Leo degree and the moon is in Leo at the exact time of the aspect. A lot of us can have child stuff coming up, issues with our parents coming up, things that happened when we were teenagers coming up. So there can be some vulnerability there. There's definitely some healing opportunity there, or children or teenagers that are in our lives right now. There can be potentially like big transformation or healing going on with them as well. Also, Saturn is the traditional ruler of the sign of Aquarius, the sign that Pluto is currently in. So Saturn is the traditional dispositor of this Pluto and Aquarius transit in sextile to Pluto and Aquarius. This is strengthening the Pluto and Aquarius transit. It's bringing out a lot of positivity and opportunity. And, sextiles, positive aspects, sextiles are very much about opportunity and creative action needed, right? When we have trines, like right now we have Mars trine Jupiter, right? Jupiter trine Mercury. Trines are when the energy is effortlessly flowing between two planets. Sextiles, it's a positive aspect and it's flowing, but there's a action, there's an opportunity, there's uh, more of a creativity, if you will. So this is a time of taking bold risks and believing in yourself and taking action. Saturn and Aries. So this is not an aspect to be like, I'm just going to sit at home for the next 2 weeks. And especially on March 28th, when this aspect is exact, and I just want to see what happens. No, this is about taking action. And when you take the action, Saturn and Pluto will support and help to bring change and transformation and greater stability. We've got the modern day ruler dispositor of the Pluto in Aquarius transit, Uranus, at the end of Taurus. 28 degrees, guys. What have we been talking about? This Uranus at the end of Taurus. Height instability, right? There's talks right now of energy shortages and food shortages and energy lockdowns and all this kind of stuff. Well, if you've been paying attention to the astrology, right? We've been talking about, yeah, Uranus at 28, 29 degrees, which I think he goes into 29 degrees on April 6th, if I'm not mistaken, end of the first week of April. This is the height of instability. Uranus is weakest in Taurus in these critical degrees. So I think part of this is like being prepared for these crazy times. Not that it's the end of the world, but yeah, there's definitely a potential here for possible shortages of some things. It's a very heightened energy. And with Saturn sextile Pluto, it's intense. It's bringing a lot to the surface to help us move forward, for real change to happen. So it can feel weird. Okay, Uranus, the modern day dispositor of this transit at like height instability at the end of Taurus in those critical degrees, it's supposed to feel weird. If you're not feeling weird and everything is totally comfortable for you right now, I think that's probably maybe one or two people listening to this video, right? Because I think most of us, and let me know in the live chat what you guys think, but I think most of us feel pretty freaking weird, like we're in this in-between time, in between the old world and the new world. There can be very strange things in life coming up. I'm definitely noticing it for sure, right? Call to the universe says, let's get weird. Yes, let's get weird. It should be feeling weird right now because we're being tested and we're being initiated into, I believe, the highest timeline available. That's my personal belief. Vinny says, I've been feeling weird and nauseous all day. Larry says, in between, absolutely. Yeah. So if you're like, feeling weird, this can also be like in medical astrology with this astrology right now. There can be more likelihood for anxiety, nervous tension, overthinking, being hyperactive, having issues sleeping. If you're having some of this stuff, and I'm not calling it in, just reading the astrology, right? You're not going crazy. This is the energetics of what's going on, because this is such a huge time of change right now. Wow. Susan says, are you kidding? I threw up yesterday. I never throw up. Wow. That's wild. Hope you feel better today, Susan. Divine Bella says, I don't feel anything. However, I be too weird already. I am far too gone. LOL. That's funny. Just going to take a sip of water, you guys. What's also interesting is this Saturn sextile Pluto is happening 3 days before a full moon in Libra, right? So it's happening exact on March 28th. It's in a full moon portal. So that's making it even stronger as well. And that full moon in Libra, we're going to see some huge geopolitical changes, okay? Because Libra is one of the political signs. It has to do with diplomacy and deals and agreements, right? And I also want to bring up here in mundane astrology, very interesting that Iran has its sun at 10 degrees of Aries. So Saturn right now is conjunct the sun of Iran, and Pluto is in Iran's second house, in sextile to the sun in the fourth house. Big changes happening to Iran. I think that there is a potential here for some sort of deal to be made. And forgive me, you guys, I'm not completely in the loop because I have been in Alberta the past week looking at houses and been working. So I haven't like been listening to any alternative media that much. So I don't know everything that's going on at the moment, but astrologically, I think there's a potential for a lot of things. I think there can be a potential for some sort of deal actually to be made, and there could be a pleasant surprise. But also, we do have a big fat stellium of planets in Aries, so that can be like heightened war escalation. I've been talking about this for a while. Trump's astrology is very, very intense. And I maintain my prediction that I think that something very intense can possibly happen to him. I'm not going to say what exactly that is because I've said that on my uncensored membership. um, there's a lot of possibilities here with the astrology, big time. No Ding Dog says those still engaged in the narrative are looking very stressed. My neighbors are losing it. Yes, I have been seeing this with some people as well. And, we just need to be compassionate and loving with people and, you know, treat people the way they treat us, if you will. Of course, be strong in our boundaries and not overgive ourselves. But a lot of people are freaked out. A lot of people are having their whole belief systems and matrix like crumbled in front of their eyes. So I feel like part of this Leo influence with this aspect also being at a Leo degree is like, remember your heart, see people for the inner child that they are, remember the inner child that you are. Don't take things so seriously. Everybody is playing a role. Everybody is, going through this wake up process, whether they realize it or not. So, yeah, that's definitely going on. China has an Aquarius rising. Let me check what the degree is. I know China has an Aquarius. Oh, it's 0 degrees. Oh, no, it's 1 degree. Oh, 1 degree Aquarius rising with the moon in Aquarius 3 degrees. I have no idea what's going on with China. Okay. But Pluto is conjunct the moon of China in sextile to Saturn. So China and Iran are two countries being very affected by this Saturn sextile Pluto. I think we can see big changes happening to both in this time frame. And just to reiterate some of the predictions that I have with this aspect, we talked about a new time of huge invention and technology, innovations that become a new part of our reality and systems of life, major changes to governments and politicians. I think karma being paid to people who have used it negatively, especially during the pandemic time and before that, who have been in very powerful positions. Things that were done during the COVID era coming up, and people responsible for bad things being continued to be exposed. Let me fix my freaking camera over here, you guys. And bear with me one moment, everybody. I'm going to grab my tarot cards. And before we get into the readings for each of the 12 signs, we will pull some collective cards. And I'm very curious to see what we're going to have in the collective cards. 1 second, I forgot to take it out of my luggage. I'm just going to grab it out of my luggage. 1 second. Okay, got the cards. Let's see what we got going on here. So we're asking the universe, all that supports us for our highest good. What is our divine guidance about this Saturn sextile Pluto aspect happening exact on March 28th? What is our divine guidance about this? Again, I keep feeling with this, like, you don't mess around with Saturn and Pluto. Okay. Even though this is a positive aspect, if you've been doing something out of alignment, funny business, they're going to give you a kick in the butt. I'm sorry to say, that's just what they do. So be prepared for that. Okay. Wow, the Lovers, Justice. I knew we were going to get the Justice card. 2 major arcana. If we get another one, I'm going to explode. Okay. 8 of Pentacles. Today on my membership, when I did my uncensored horoscope for Monday and Tuesday, 3 major arcanas came through. 3. Oh my God. I'm such a dramatic Scorpio. Sorry, you guys. That doesn't want to close in. Oh my God. Okay. I've pulled 6 major arcanas today, 3 earlier on my uncensored horoscope, 3 right now. Holy shit. Interesting that the first one is the Lovers. You know what I'm going to do? We're going to screw the fancy camera for a moment. We're going to do the old school camera just for while I'm doing the cards. Okay, because I want you guys to see these cards. The Lovers. Celebrate the love in your life. What have we been talking about? The Saturn sextile Pluto is at 5 degrees, Leo degree, which is love, the heart, romantic love, sex, intimacy. this Saturn sextile Pluto, yes, it has to do with work, Saturn. Yes, it has to do with the collective of humanity, Pluto and Aquarius. It also just has to do with love. It's actually quite simple. It has to do with the love in your life. Literal lovers, the love of a family member, the love of a best friend, the love of a neighbor, your self-love. How can you bring in more love? What are the gifts of love that are being shared with you at this time? I think we're getting major gifts of love in general, and many of us might even get the gift of a new lover if you're single, or reignited love. Ooh la la. Justice, we've been talking about this the whole video. Justice for what has been done. Thank you very much. I feel like there is some kind of justice coming. And I'm not just saying that because that's what people want to hear. And that's what a lot of people are saying. Oh, everything has already been taken care of. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about literally Saturn and Pluto are about karma and the shadow side of life. And it's a full circle moment since that Saturn Pluto conjunction of 2020. So to me, it just makes sense astrologically that there's some sort of karmic justice happening, being paid. And that is that we need that. That's going to be so healing for humanity. That's part of our healing process. Justice. That's why it's in the tarot. That's why it's a spiritual concept, because it's healing, and justice is always served. But I think there's opportunity for us to actually see that out in the world somehow. Truth, clarity. Justice is also about truth and clarity. You know, Mercury is no longer retrograde. Thank God we're out of Pisces season. Yes, we've still got Mercury, Mars, and the North Node in Pisces, but there's a big fat stellium in Aries, and Saturn and Pluto together are very much about truth. So love, truth, justice. This guy's been coming up a lot lately. This dude has been coming up a lot. This Eight of Pentacles. Also what we've been talking about, find work-life balance to protect your creativity. Literally what we've been talking about. Sunny says the lovers is also pointing towards making choices or taking actions towards what you love, or showing God that you love yourself by taking the gifts he's given you and providing and proving you can use them. That's beautiful. Yes. Very true. Very true. Taking action toward what you love, bringing more love into the world, which moves the collective energy to shift toward justice for all. Yes. I love that. Guys, these are all good cards. These are all good cards. Oh my God. So yeah, Eight of Pentacles, right? Like Granddaddy Saturn is about hard work and accomplishment and success, and what's the next thing, and here's the next target, and what's the next goal. Okay, that's all great. But what about love? What's that song, you guys? What about love? I'm totally forgetting what that song is, but do you guys know what I'm talking about? What about love? What song is that? I'm hearing that. What about love and fun and play? We're so programmed to just work, 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 check off the to-do list, do this, do that. Oh, it's by heart. Do you need someone to care about you? Is that how the song goes? Yeah, it's by heart. We're getting a very clear, yeah, I mean, it's just these cards are affirming the astrology. If there's something that you've been feeling your entire life that you've been passionate about, but you've been too scared to do it, and it's gnawing at you and you're thinking about it every single day or on a regular basis, It's time to go do that thing. Okay, this is a time to lead with our hearts, boldly and fearlessly. Maybe that means you go back to school or you study something that you've been passionate about, but maybe you were too scared of. Maybe you've been in love with somebody for frickin' 20 years, but you're too scared to tell them. Now's the time to tell them. This is like, what is the reality of what's been going on for you? And what is the step that needs to be taken that practically makes sense, right? Dreams coming true. Love, true love, passion, creativity, bringing more fun into your life, having fun through this crazy ass transformational intense time. Because if you're not having fun, if you're not doing something that uplifts you, it's going to be pretty freaking hard, right? The star. All your dreams are coming true. Opportunities. Sextiles are about opportunities, renewal, faith, hope, healing, rejuvenation. Literally what we've been talking about. So this is very, okay, and this is crazy too, because it's 8, 8, and 6 plus 2 is 8. So it's kind of like an 888 in the cards coming up. Wow. Chicky Blue, hello, Chicky Blue says, gas prices are ridiculous for travel. I agree. Gas prices are crazy, but okay, if we're not able to drive, how can we bring fun into our homes or without having to go somewhere? How do we get back to that inner child fun? Right? I love being around my niece. Her name is Betty. She's 3 years old and she's so freaking cute. And she's just in that magical phase where everything is fun and everything is, oh my God. You're just having fun, not taking anything for granted, being in the present moment, being fearless, being in play. Right? Sunny says, it's crazy. So the last Pluto Saturn transit was 6 years ago. You've chosen 3 major arcana. To me, major arcana is long-term 5-year plus theme. So the transit will affect for 6+ years too. Yes. Sunny, such a good point. Yes. What you do boldly and fearlessly now affects your whole next 5 years or 6 years, many years. Do it. Do it. I'm too scared. What if she doesn't like me? Okay, you're only going to find out if you go tell her. If you love her, tell her. If you love him, tell him. If you want to do something, go do something. Go do that thing. Is this making sense? Is the message going through? Chicky Blue says, it's like investment. Yes, it is like investment. It definitely is. On that note, I'm so happy with these cards. Oh my God. Wow. On that note, we're going to go through each of the 12 signs for this Saturn sextile Pluto. Someone was saying, how long will this last? Let me just double check. Well, Saturn is sextile Pluto for a while. Let me get the exact timeline. Saturn sextile Pluto. So March 28th, that's exact. And it's within a strong orb until Until May, until middle of May, it is in a strong orb, and then I don't think, and then it's not going back within 5 degrees, so it's not going within actually it is going back December within 5 degrees, but only for a short, 4 degrees. Only for a short little bit, but this is the strongest point that we're in right now, right? Okay. It's time to go through. So very strong from now until I would say second week of May. All right. We're going to start with our Aries. Saturn sextile Pluto for our Aries. Do we have any Aries in the house? Aries, this is a really big one for you because Saturn is in your sign, in your first house. Okay. So if you are an Aries sun, moon, or rising, or you have an Aries placement within 0 to 10 degrees of Aries, Saturn is conjunct your Aries placement or Aries placements. Maybe you have more than one, right? So you're going through this Saturn in Aries transit. Granddaddy Saturn is really working with you. He's been there full on since February 13th, bringing heightened responsibility, the next level of your maturity, major life changes, and reality checks. In sextile to Pluto in Aquarius in your 11th house. So, Aries, this is a very big time of personal transformation. And many Aries have been going through very intense things as of late, right? Neptune is now in Aries, Saturn is now in your sign, Chiron is still in your sign. We just had the Saturn Neptune conjunction in your sign. So, this is a no joke time for Aries. I'm hearing spirits say, how are you using your energy and your power? Are you using it for good? Are you using it for bad? Okay. This can actually be a breakthrough time, very empowering. Transformations in how you show up, the role that you play out into the world. If you're an Aries that has been going through any physical health or just, general health issues, I'm not a medical expert, but just saying, okay, Pluto in Aquarius in his home house, because that's what happens when we do the Aries solar charts, indicates that alternative healing modalities, alternative health protocols are actually very good for you at this time. And there could be major body transformations that come up. Aries, you're more prone to issues that have to do with accidents, injury, the head, the blood, the eyes, the hormones, right? One of my really good friends who I was just staying with in Alberta is an Aries. And, she's had several major accidents ruled by Aries. And there's some things going on with her head at the moment. So it's interesting with Aries, whatever your signs are in medical astrology, we're actually more prone to the medical issues ruled by astrology in those areas. So, Aries, I think this is a good time to look at your health, try alternative modalities. There could be some very helpful new friends or community that come up for you at this time that inspire you to be who you truly are. At the same token, okay, Aries, because Pluto is the shadow side of life. Some of you may have some friends, some community around you, teams like being exposed for who they truly are and how that might not actually serve you for your highest good. Saturn is at fall in your sign, Saturn is at fall in the first house. Pluto is at fall in Aquarius, and Pluto is at fall in the 11th house. So it's interesting for Aries that these planets are actually in their fall houses. So there's definitely some sort of tension going on, whether that has to do with your role in the world, how you show up, your health, your friendships, your community association. So I would say pay attention to, I like to say when it comes to Saturn, the reality checks of those areas. Saturn is the Lord, Aries, of your 10th and 11th house, and Pluto is the Lord of your 8th house. So this Saturn sextile Pluto is also bringing life-changing transformation and heightened activity to your work, career, as I said, friends and community, and your shared resources, sex life, relationship to intimacy, and your shadow side as well. So, Aries, sending lots of love your way. Very powerful for you. Let me know what is going on in the comments below, and sending lots of love. Next, we have our Taurus, Sun, Moon, and Risings, my fellow Taurus placements. This is really interesting for us, Tauruses, because we have Saturn in Aries in our 12th house in sextile to Pluto in Aquarius in our 10th house. Okay. So, whatever we're doing behind the scenes, right, Taurus, because the 12th house where we have Saturn is behind the scenes. We actually have a big stellium of planets in Aries in our 12th house. Behind the scenes work, behind the scenes dreams, paying off. Okay. So it feels like for Tauruses that things that we've maybe been waiting a really long time for, that have been a dream or a visualization or a fantasy or a hope or a desire, we're actually starting to have that manifest in the physical now with this Saturn sextile Pluto, particularly when it has to do with things that have been long-term goals, things related to work or career. Even for some Tauruses, there can be inheritance Pluto from like an older family member or an older person in life as well. This Saturn sextile Pluto is also asking us Tauruses to really balance out work, play, and rest. Okay. Tauruses actually are really hard workers. Okay. I know we can get a rap for, oh my God, they're so lazy and they're so indulgent and they're so stubborn, which we definitely, us with Taurus placements, we definitely can be all those things 100%. Okay. But we can also be really passionate about our work, right? We have Virgo to work in the 5th house of our passion. We have the sign of Aries in our 12th house of something that's actually like a behind the scenes superpower. So I don't care what anybody says. And some of you guys may laugh and go, oh my God, Tauruses are so lazy. They can actually be really hard workers and they're very passionate about what they do, sometimes to the point of even being like workaholic, like a Capricorn or Virgo. All the work signs, all the earth signs actually have a commonality where there can be a negative side of like being a workaholic, right? So Taurus, we're being invited to not just work hard, continuing to work hard, but bringing more play. How can we bring more play? How can we bring more rest? Okay. This Saturn sextile Pluto time is also really good for rest. Maybe you want to go to a spa or a retreat center or start a meditation practice or a yoga practice or sound healing practice. Bringing something in, maybe a new pattern that gives you deep rest, I feel like is very important. And Taurus says it's been crazy. We've had Uranus in our sign for how many years is it? 8 years? 8 years. No. Yeah, 8 years. Which has been very wacky, very weird, very unpredictable and unstable. So I feel like for a lot of us, a lot of our nervous systems are just like, crazy. And part of this Saturn sextile Pluto is asking us to heal, make time for deep rest. There can be things we've been waiting for, manifesting. There can be behind the scenes, like hidden addictions or unconscious behaviors that we maybe need to deal with or we can have a breakthrough from as well. And also, Taurus, Saturn rules your ninth and 10th house. It's the lord of those houses, and Pluto is the lord of your seventh house. So, this Saturn sextile Pluto is also bringing positive energy, transformation, stability to your work, professional life, travel, foreign places, publishing, legal matters, and also your committed relationships, contracts, and obligations. Let me know how you're doing, Tauruses. Sending lots of love your way and happy Saturn sextile Pluto. Next, we've got our Geminis. Geminis, how are you doing out there? So, Gemini, you have got Saturn in Aries in your 11th house, sextile Pluto in Aquarius in your 9th house. I think for Geminis, this is actually quite lucky ducky, if you ask me, okay? Because the 9th house, where you have Pluto right now, is the house of luck and expansion and divine blessings. 11th house of Aquarius is also like gains, okay? So Gemini, there be open to receiving with this Saturn sextile Pluto conjunction. In particular, when it comes to new friends, new community, helpful people, powerful people coming into your life, new teachers or mentors or guides. And when I say that, it's not that we need to, you don't have to have a teacher, you don't have to have a mentor. You don't need to be below anybody. That's not what I mean by that. But, you know, there are situations where you can have a healthy relationship to someone where you are learning from them or you're being mentored by them. So I think many Geminis may have a very powerful transformational new guide coming in or subject of interest that you want to start learning. This is a very powerful time for networking and socializing and actually going to events and meeting new people that can help with things that you're learning or work and career. Or, you know, we got very big messages with this Saturn sextile Pluto, since it is at a Leo degree, which does have to do with romance. You know, maybe Gemini, some of you guys are meeting a soulmate at a networking function, a conference, an event, or in a foreign country or something like that. Saturn rules your eighth and ninth house. It's the lord of those houses. And Pluto rules your sixth house. So this Saturn sextile Pluto is also bringing stability, transformation, and great opportunity to, of course, travel, legal matters, higher learning, your shared resources, your deep healing journey, right? That's eighth house of Scorpio too, sex and intimacy life, and your health, where you've got Scorpio in the sixth house, health and day-to-day work and pets as well. So Geminis, this is very interesting for you. You've got Saturn sextile Pluto in two very benefic houses. I'm curious to hear from you all how it's going. Sending lots and lots of love your way and have a very happy Saturn sextile Pluto. Okay, Cancers, this is very interesting for you. Okay, Cancers, what the heck is going on with all of you? And Nets says, I'm a Gemini and started working at a school part-time. I've met a lot of people and I am now debating finishing my teaching degree. I'm wondering if I'm meant to do it now that I've begun to. I would say, Nets, do what your heart feels to do. What is inside your heart? right? As a Gemini, definitely helpful people coming forward, and definitely there's opportunity for you to be learning really good new things or taking new courses or stuff like that. Cancers. Okay, this is pretty wild because Cancers currently have Saturn in Aries at home in the 10th house and Pluto in Aquarius at home in the 8th house. Wow. So for Cancer, Sun, Moon, and risings, but most particularly for the risings and the suns, those are the placements you should listen to first and foremost. Saturn and Pluto are in their home houses, right? So this aspect is extremely strong for you guys, particularly when it comes to work, professional opportunities, forging new connections, maybe starting to work with a lover, work with a soulmate. Pluto in your eighth house is other people's resources, a partner's resources. So many Cancers, if you're in a relationship, your partner could have something really positive happening with their work over the coming months. They might start a successful independent business, or you can start your own business. Cancers, if you're looking for a time to start your own thing, now is the time. I can't think of what a better transit would be for you to do that other than now. This is really about believing in yourself and your passions and owning your value and your worth. Cancers are attracting very powerful people to you, very powerful clients. If you do anything where you happen to work with clients, your relationships are going to the next level. There can be reality checks happening there. Like, what do you want in work? What do you want in relationships? It's time for you to get real about that. And it's very positive, but it can also be a very intense energy again, because these are the two malefic planets here. So Saturn is the Lord of your seventh and your eighth house. So your seventh house of commitments, love life, contracts, and obligations. Your eighth house of Scorpio, shared resources, soulmate partnerships, your shadow side and healing journey. And Scorpio, ruled by Pluto, so the Lord of your fifth house, Pluto, um, influencing again both of your relationship houses being activated, all of the sexual houses being activated. So, Cancers, if you've been like in a toxic relationship, this can be the breakthrough point out of that. If you've been wanting to bring healing to a relationship, whether that's in love or work, this is a major, I would even say, karmic breakthrough point with that as well. This is an amazing time to be doing any sort of real deal healing modality. And I just keep hearing believe in yourself, believe in yourself, believe in yourself when it comes to anything professionally related. So, Cancer, sending lots of love your way. Have a very happy Saturn sextile Pluto. All right, next we go to our Leos. Leos, you have Saturn in Aries in your ninth house in sextile to Pluto in Aquarius in your seventh house. So, this is very, very powerful aspect that is bringing stability and transformation to your committed relationships, Leo, to your um, consciousness, your beliefs, your higher perspective. I think it's important, Leos, for you to look at the people that you have around in life, your committed relationships. So whether in particular, lovers, friends, work partners, therapists, astrologers, anybody that does something for you that is showed by the seventh house, are they in alignment with, okay, Saturn in your ninth house, your beliefs. Okay. It feels like the beliefs of others around you can be, or let me rephrase that, has been affecting you. Okay. I feel like some Leos have maybe been taking on other people's beliefs that aren't really yours, right? Regina says, I've been reevaluating relationships and cutting out the takers. Are you a Leo, Regina, or what's your sign? If you feel like sharing it. Leos, you're going through a very big upgrade in all of your committed relationships. And I'm not saying that you have to have people around you that only think the same thing as you, because that's not healthy. That's not what I'm saying. But it is important for you to share values and some beliefs, okay, that are important. And I think it's becoming very clear to Leos the intentions of the people around you, who is worth transforming to the next level of a relationship with, who is not. Okay. Many Leos can be attracting powerful foreign new lovers, foreign new work partners, foreign new work opportunities. I think that this is a good time, Leo, to reevaluate your relationships, maybe go on a trip to a foreign place. Um, Aries is in your ninth house. So it's good for you to be traveling to places that bring you a sense of freedom, bring you a sense of places that boost your confidence, like independence. Um, and I just get the sense for some Leos, there's like a taking back of your power. I feel like there's maybe been some people around you that have been trying to take your power or trying to like put a belief onto you. Maybe you haven't even realized that they've been doing that. Many Leos I know have been going through divorces and breakups with Pluto in the seventh house, right? So, and you guys are all about heart. You're the sign of the heart. You're the sign of love, and you deeply care about those close to you, especially if you're in a relationship with them, right? But we can't put our self worth and value on what other people think or the people around us. So there's something about like you're taking your power back, you're taking your confidence back. If you honor yourself, you're attracting powerful, positive, new people. It's good to travel. It's good to learn something new at this time. It's good to release something. It's good to publish something. Somebody can see something that you've published and give you more opportunity from that. Saturn rules your sixth house and your seventh house. So, sixth house of health, day to day work, routines, and your seventh house of commitments, relationship, love. So, those areas are also being very highlighted right now. Transformation and restabilizing going on there. And Pluto is the Lord of your fourth house of home and your emotions and family and your ancestors, right? Maybe there's a reason why in your ancestral karma, certain people have been attracted or you've had certain kinds of relationships. There could be an opportunity to live somewhere new coming up. There can be a reassessment of where you live as well. Sending lots of love your way, Leos. Hope that resonates and have a very magical Saturn sextile Pluto. Moving on to our Virgos. Virgo, you have Saturn in Aries in your eighth house, in sextile to Pluto in Aquarius in your sixth house. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Okay. This is interesting. So Saturn in the eighth house, Pluto rules Scorpio in the eighth house. So Virgo, this is a time of like major truths and possibly even secrets coming up for you that actually liberate you and free you. Okay. I'm seeing for Virgos, this Saturn sextile Pluto is a massive opportunity for in-depth healing work around physical or health issues, work issues, okay, issues if there are any with pets as well. Face your fears, Virgo. There may be many Virgos in situations right now that may seem kind of scary, or like you're having to face your fears, you're having to really move past something that has felt like a block. I think many of you Virgos will have a huge release with this Saturn in sextile to Pluto. There's transformation and restability, more stability coming when it has to do with your health, your day to day work, your shared resources. If there's money that's owed to you, Virgo, I think that that can be coming. I'm not a financial advisor expert, but just saying Pluto is hidden money, such as debts that are owed, inheritances, taxes, things that are owed back to you, all that kind of stuff. And Saturn in your eighth house of Pluto and Scorpio. So there is a big theme around money, gains coming in. I keep hearing things that are owed, if there is anything. This can actually be a good time, Virgo. And again, I'm not a financial advisor, but to be looking at investing. I think many Virgos can actually do quite well with investing at this time. Maybe some of you make investing like actually a part of your work or main sources of income. That can definitely be happening for sure. Healing, deep healing, having to do with your father. Saturn in the eighth house. Saturn can have to do with your father if there's any issues with your father. And Saturn is the lord of your fifth house, of your inner child, fun, being in the spotlight, self expression. Saturn is also the lord of your sixth house, as we talked about, of health and day to day work and routines. So, all those areas are being very highlighted and worked with. And Pluto is the lord of your third house, of your local community, siblings, friends, how you communicate and share and take in information. So that area is also going through some bold changes and transformations at this time as well. Virgos, this is big stuff. Let me know what's going on, and I'm sending lots of love your way. Okay, Libras. Where's my Libras at? Libras, we've got Saturn in Aries, okay, in your seventh house, which guess what? Saturn loves to be in the seventh house. Saturn is exalted in the seventh house because, of course, the seventh house is the Libra ruled areas of life, right? Your sign, Libra. So Saturn likes to be here, and he's in sextile to Pluto in the fifth house at fifth degree. Pluto is exalted in the fifth house. So, Libras, for you, this is really cool because Saturn and Pluto are in their exalted houses. And the seventh house and the fifth house are two of the love houses. These are two of the romance houses. And I know every single Libra, okay, loves love, loves relationships, right? So this is what every Libra wants to hear. This is a badass aspect for your love life, okay? Some of you Libras might be having a relationship that hasn't been so serious up until this point, right? Like fifth house is not serious relationships, dating, sexual affairs, that kind of stuff. Something becoming a commitment, a relationship going to the next level. Many Libras around the Saturn Pluto sextile might be getting engaged, might be getting married. You can be meeting a new partner in a fun place or a fun circumstance that becomes a serious relationship. So this is very positive for anything having to do with love, romance, and marriage. Very positive for expressing your creativity, your unique gifts and talents out into the world confidently. Also very positive for bringing more, I'm hearing like self-respect to yourself when it comes to your aesthetic and how you present yourself out into the world. That can be seventh house as well. Self-love, deepening your self-love. Saturn rules your fourth house of home and family and your emotions, and your fifth house, as I said, of your inner child, creativity, sharing your gifts and talents out into the world. So those areas are going through change, transformation, are restabilizing. And Pluto is the Lord of your second house of money, finances, physical resources, values, and self worth. So there is a big boost and divine support happening in those areas at this time as well. Libra is sending lots of love your way and enjoy this fun Saturn sextile Pluto. All right, next, my fellow Scorpios. Scorpios, we have something positive happening, which feels kind of rare for us, okay? Because being a Scorpio is freaking crazy. Our modern day ruler, Pluto, sextile Saturn, the other major malefic planet, Scorpio. This is very positive, helpful, benefic breath of fresh air for us. Okay. So we are being invited to mature. Saturn is about maturity into our next level of being a Scorpio. This is different for us from all the other signs because Pluto is our ruler. So, what is it to be a Scorpio? Being a Scorpio is a never ending journey of transformation. We die and are reborn countless times in our lifetimes, right? We go through very intense life experiences and situations and lessons and learnings that we can either wound us deeply and let us go into the shadow side of Scorpio, the snake archetype of Scorpio, the lower expression, or we can fly high. I have to share Scorpios. Today, I saw an eagle. I not only saw an eagle, which is one of my spirit animals for sure. The eagle flew over me as my friend was driving me home from the airport. And I haven't seen an eagle here in the town of Oakville, where I'm from in Ontario, in a very long time. Um, and why I'm bringing that up, eagle is the highest expression of Scorpio, right? So there's three types of Scorpios: snakes, phoenix, and eagle. And this Saturn sextile Pluto is inviting us to mature into our eagle Scorpio, our highest expression of a Scorpio. Which, what is the highest expression of the Scorpio? The master shaman healer, the shadow shaman. Okay. So taking what we've been through and alchemizing it into being a guide, being a teacher, being a master. Okay, that's an intense word to say, but it is that, right? You're either going to let the darkness and the traumas get you down and ruin your life, or you're going to ascend. So this Saturn sextile Pluto is inviting us to ascend into our next level of Scorpio maturity. And if you are having a hard time, Scorpio, with anything in your life, in particular having to do with Pluto in the fourth house, home, family, your emotions, your ancestors' past, or Saturn in the sixth house, work, health, pets, these are areas that there may be challenge going on that we're actually being initiated to go into this next level of our highest expression and who we truly are. And it's an amazing time to be doing real deal Scorpio Pluto healing work around these areas. Chrissy says, my friend who is a Scorpio rising saw an eagle today. She took a video of it. She pulled right up beside it on the road. Oh my God, that's freaking crazy. Murdoch, hi Murdoch, says, holy crap, Meg, I had a similar dream. The eagle landed on me. Okay, that's so cool, Murdoch and Chrissy. I don't know if I was clear. In my waking life today, literally 3 hours ago, an eagle flew over me. So very big sign for me personally with what I'm doing in my personal life right now. And also I felt like is a sign for all of my fellow Scorpios that it's time to like step into the eagle, which is the highest archetype of Scorpio, right? So where can you be the Scorpio eagle when it comes to Pluto in the fourth house? Your home, your family, your emotions. How can you be the Scorpio eagle when it comes to Saturn in the sixth? Your work, your day-to-day routines, your health, your pets, how you're of service to the world, right? This is like very positive, benefic, divine support that we are receiving. And the truth is, it's never easy as a Scorpio. I would be lying to you if I said, oh, it's just always easy. It's just going to, no, there's something that is an initiation that's going on that you're actually going to eagle fly through it and become even more of the highest expression of Scorpio because of it. Saturn rules your fourth house that we've been talking about, also your third house where you have Capricorn of communication, your words, right? Your local community, your friends, your siblings, your day-to-day environment. So those areas being highlighted, going through a big transformation. And Pluto is our ruler. So, Scorpio is in our first house of our physical body, how we show up to the world, the roles, the characters that we play, if you will. So we're showing more of our real self. We're stepping more into our real self. We're being called upon to share our medicine with others, right? And Scorpio is very much about whether you are a Scorpio in a healing arts job or not, you have a healing energy that is being called upon to be shared in not just your workspace, but also your family life and with your friends and with your local community, right? So, yeah, we have important things to share. So I like this for us very much. Positive news for work, positive news for health, but we have to take the action. This is a eagle initiation, Scorpio, right? And just to remind all my Scorpios out there that have never heard of the 3 types of Scorpios, I know that I mentioned this, but want to show this to you guys visually as well, because it's cool to see the visual of it. Here. Scorpio stages. Let me bring this up. Is that not wanting to share? Oh, here. Let me bring this up. Because once you understand this about Scorpios, it changes, if you are a Scorpio, your whole life, or if you have anybody that's close to you that's a Scorpio, it makes it make sense. Okay. So, and some practices say like snake scorpion or scorpion scorpion. I like to say snake, right? First stage is stage 1 Scorpio exercises power through emotion and instinct. This Scorpio is symbolized by the scorpion, an insect more likely in the end to sting itself rather than others. Aggression and instinct are particular features of the scorpion aspect, which is where the tendency to potential destructive behavior and competitiveness arises. So when we are the lower expression of Scorpio, when we have not worked through our shit and the intense things that we've gone through, we don't know how to use our poison. And we have the stinger for a reason. Okay, the stinger is not bad, and it's okay to use the stinger even when you're an eagle Scorpio in certain situations. But being a snake slash scorpion Scorpio, it's dangerous because if you haven't worked through and healed yourself, you're going to project your shit onto everybody else, and it's destructive, right? The second type of Scorpio, so these people are like the criminals, the craziest people you've ever seen, right? Those are the Scorpion Scorpios. Then we've got the Phoenix Scorpios, which are the Scorpios. And this one has Scorpion, Eagle, Phoenix. People do it different way. But the second stage is the Scorpions that are working on themselves. They've started their healing journey. They're in that Phoenix alchemy, right? And then the Eagle Scorpions, which is like the most rare kind of a Scorpio, is the master Scorpios, the healers. And the eagles, for those of you who don't know, is the bird that flies the highest in the sky. Eagles have the highest perspective, right? So when you see an eagle flying by, it's medicine of step into the higher perspective and let go of all the itty bitty pity stories and all that stuff. And what does your soul say? What does your higher self say? Right? It's very, very magical, the Eagle Scorpio archetype. And it's a teacher, it's a healer that can help others heal and transform through their issues and their dark side. So, hope that helps you, Scorpio. It's important to be aware of. Happy Saturn sextile Pluto. Very positive for us. Okay, we've got 4 more signs. Sagittarius. Sagittarius. Let me bring the chart back up here. Saggy Waggies. We have got Saturn in Aries in your 5th house, in sextile to Pluto in Aquarius in your 3rd house. So this Saturn sextile Pluto aspect for you is definitely inviting you and assisting you in sharing your gifts and talents out into the world, making your dreams a reality. Okay. Put yourself in the spotlight, Sagittarius. Speak your truth. Share your medicine. There's very powerful opportunities, blessings that come when you do that. Many Saggies might around this time be making the commitment, Saturn, to maybe having children, Saturn in the 5th house, becoming a grandparent, right? There's a new relationship with your inner child, and literally like physical children in your life can be coming up. Things that are fun or passions, gifts of yours that become work, Saturn in the 5th house. Share your medicine, share what you do, right? Pluto in your 3rd house is giving power to how you communicate, social media, marketing, business. You know, people always say to me, Sagittarius, what do you do? How do you do what you do? You're a full-time astrologer. The number one thing is you have to share what the heck you're doing. You have to be confident in what you're doing and tell everybody you know and share it on social media. Start a YouTube channel, start a blog, post it on X, post it on Instagram. Let people know what you're doing. Just waiting around for something to happen, that's not the energy of this aspect. You make it happen. And Saturn sextile Pluto will support that, right? So making your dreams a reality. This is a highly creative aspect for Saggies. I think a lot of Sagittarius will be coming up with really cool ideas, creative projects that can become work moving forward. Saturn rules your third and second house. Your second house is about your values, your money, your physical resources, pleasure, and enjoyment of life. So it's bringing more stability and transformation into that area. And Pluto is the lord of your 12th house of Pisces, behind the scenes work, behind the scenes dreams and fantasies, creativity. I think a lot of Saggies are literally stepping into creative work roles. Um, you're very artistic, you're very creative. You need to bring that creative Kundalini energy into your life, whether that's your personal life or whether that's your professional life. And it feels like there's passions or things that you've been wanting to do for a really long time that can now come out into the forefront successfully. And there's more fun coming forward for you guys in your day-to-day life. So this is really cool. I'm sending lots of love your way. Hope that resonated, Sagittarius, and let me know how you're doing in the comments below. Next, we've got our Capricorns. Capricorns. You are ruled by Saturn. Okay, by Granddaddy Saturn. And this is a positive aspect with your planetary ruler. So you, the Scorpios and the Aquarians are being the most blessed, most positively affected by this aspect. This is bringing a lot of power, Pluto power, sextile your ruler, Saturn, to your life. How do you want to use this power? We have to be mindful, Capricorn. Are we using our power for good? Are we using our power based on our shadow? Saturn is an Aries in your fourth house of home and family, your foundation in life, your emotions. So there can be big changes and transformation happening to your home and family. Many Capricorn, sun, moon, and risings right now may be moving or wanting to move, making a change to the home, bringing new energy into the home or family life. You're being supported by this. Pluto is transiting over your second house of your money, physical resources, pleasure, and enjoyment in life. So it's like, how can you bring not just more abundance into your life, which I think you're being very supported by that at the moment, but how can you bring more pleasure and enjoyment to your home and family life? What emotionally fulfills you? Do you need to bring more of that into your life somehow, Capricorn? Okay. And Capricorns, you tend to be very hard workers. You tend to have your shit together. Okay. There tends to be, when you've got very strong Capricorn energy, challenge or delays as a theme in life sometimes. This is something that you've been maybe waiting for a while, because fourth house can have to do with the past, nostalgia, past dreams, past thoughts can be coming to fruition at this time. This is a very creative energy. This is a very bold influence for you as well. Saturn is the ruler of course, your second and your first house. We talked about the second house because you've got Pluto there already, but your first house, because you're a Capricorn, it's about your physical body, how you're seen in the world, the roles that you play and you're seen as well. So your physical health can get a big boost with this aspect. Your professional life can get a big boost. And if you're a Capricorn, Scorpio, or Aquarius, don't be surprised if people are more attracted to you than usual at this time. Um, that could be in like a sexual way, but not just a sexual way. That can also just be in general, like people are wanting to be around your energy. because these two very strong malefic planets that are rulers are in very strong aspect to each other. So people want to be around you. People want to talk to you. People want to hear what's going on and maybe want to assist you with whatever is going on. So this is really good, Capricorns. Overall, let me know how you're feeling with this aspect. Sending lots of love your way and hope this resonated with you. All right, next we've got our Aquarians. Aquarius, if you haven't listened to any of this video yet, okay, I've probably said like a bunch of freaking times, Saturn is your planetary ruler. So Aquarius, you, the Capricorns and Scorpios that are ruled by Saturn and Pluto are being the most affected by this aspect, okay? Saturn, your traditional ruler, is in Aries in your third house in sextile to Pluto in your sign in your first house. Wow. Sorry, you guys, I always need to have a lot of water when I do these videos. Haha, Sunny says, woohoo, double good. Yeah, for both of us, it's double good, Sunny, because you've got the Scorpio Aquarius. I've got the Scorpio Capricorn, so loves it. Aquarius, I really like this for you because Pluto's been in your sign, okay, on and off for the past few years. There is nothing more intense than experiencing Pluto in your sign, which not everybody will experience because Pluto has a zodiac revolution of over 240 years, right? It's not easy. Aquarians, many of you have been going literally through death, whether that's near-death experiences, physical death of loved ones, death of self, rebirth, crisis, major challenge, major transformation, major tower moments, death card moments, right? Pluto's in your sign. You're going through the biggest transformation of your life. Saturn, sextile Pluto in your sign, is bringing stability to this process, is bringing a groundedness to this process, and is helping you to take the wisdom in real time. It's kind of like a boost. It's kind of like, what's the best way for me to say this? Have you guys ever seen the show Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? Does that show still happen? I don't know. That was on when I was a kid. This show called Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, where it was this game show where you'd get asked all these questions to win $1 million. And if you didn't know the answer to a question, you could call a friend or you could ask somebody in the audience, right? This Saturn sextile Pluto is your call a friend during this Pluto and Aquarius transit. This is Saturn supporting you going through this Pluto transit, helping you gain the wisdom, helping you to your next level of maturity, helping you bring the intensity, the great healing you've gone through into how you share yourself in the world, up-leveling your interesting Saturn in the third house, how you communicate, how you share yourself out there, your relationship to your local community, marketing and business, if you have anything to do with that. You're getting a boost. You're getting a boost of energy. You're getting a boost of power. There's a boost of divine support. You can literally call Saturn right now. You might want to do this. You might feel crazy, but make a phone sign to your face and be like, Saturn, I'm calling you up and I would like help with this thing right now. Please help me while I'm in this Pluto and Aquarius transit. Saturn is your friend. Saturn is your friend right now. And your spoken word is very important. How you communicate is very important. Breakthroughs with your health, breakthroughs with your professional life as well. Pluto is the lord of your 10th house. So this is great work opportunities coming up, success in work with this Saturn in sextile to Pluto. Saturn is the lord of your first house and your 12th house. We talked about the first house. Your 12th house is behind the scenes work, rewards for what you've done behind the scenes, creative inspiration that actually can turn into like a job or something really successful, really in-depth healing of karmic behind the scene issues. So Aquarius, this is a lot of stuff going on, very powerful and supportive. If you've been wanting to make any sort of major change, now's the time to do it. Believe in yourself. You've been wanting to start anything new. Now's the time. Believe in yourself. And this is a boost while you're in this Pluto in Aquarius transit. Things that you think are maybe a little bit of a good idea are probably actually a really good idea. And you're being tested to commit yourself, be committed, continue to stand in your gifts and talents and truth as you're going through this very intense Pluto in Aquarius transit. I hope that made sense, how I just explained that, Aquarius. Sending lots of love your way. Last but certainly not least, we have our Pisces. Well, Pisces, you must be so relieved that Saturn is out of your sign. Saturn is now in in Aries, in your second house, in sextile to Pluto in your 12th house. I actually really like this for you. Okay. Pluto in the 12th house, I'm going to be honest, not the easiest transit. Okay. But any Pisces listening to this right now, Sun, Moon, and Rising, you've probably lived through all of, if not most of, the Neptune and Pisces transit that we had 2011 until January to 2025, right? So that's a whole story, but just long story short, Neptune is not an easy planet. It's about spirituality and karmic undoing. That is your planetary ruler as a Pisces. You have lived as a Pisces with Neptune and Pisces transit, which most Pisces people won't even experience, right? Because Neptune is the second farthest away outer planet. It's very slow moving. That's a very big initiation to go through. So even though Pluto is transiting over your 12th right now, which isn't easy for most people, okay? Because the 12th house is Pisces. It's karmic undoing, it's spirituality. It can be hidden enemies, behind the scenes work, creativity. Pluto is the most intense planet in astrology. But you've already gone through a lot of very intense transits. So this Pluto in Aquarius in your 12th house, in sextile to Saturn in your second, this to me feels like a major stabilizer for you guys. You're restabilizing out of this Neptune and Pisces transit. You're restabilizing. You're actually up leveling into your most magical self and really feeling, you're being invited to really feel and express the value of who you are. Okay, Saturn in your second house. The reality, Saturn, of the value and self-worth of who you are. Second house. You are that sextile to Pluto in the 12th house, which is Pisces, your home house. This is a time of making dreams a reality, sharing your gifts and your talents out into the world, making money, second house, successfully through being your authentic self, being your cool, creative, magical self. And I think you're getting a big confidence and self-worth boost with this aspect. And you are being supported, Pisces. If there's still anything that you need to let go of or that's no longer in alignment, You're being supported in effortlessly letting those things go because you deserve people around you that support your true self. Saturn is the lord of your 12th house, where you have Pluto, and also your 11th house, your friends, the community, the people that you have around you, right? Do they actually support you? There's new people coming in. This is a good time to network. This is a good time to go to a like-minded event. This is a good time, Pisces, to meet new people. There's new friends, there's new work opportunities, there's regained self-confidence, there's abundance opportunities, right? This is even like Pluto has to do with investments and hidden money. Again, I'm not a financial advisor, but there could be gains at this time, possibly through investments or inheritance or hidden money avenues as well. I feel like many opportunities or offers can be given to Pisces around this time. So believe yourself. And I think this is grounding and really stabilizing and positive for all of you Pisces. So I hope that resonated with you guys. Oh my God, we've gone through all 12 signs. Thank you, everybody, so much for joining me if you've made it this far in our video today. And yeah, Saturn sextile Pluto. I'm going to be talking about it throughout the week. Let me know how you're feeling with this aspect. If there's anything that you'd like to share in the comments below. I love and appreciate you all so, so much. And want to mention again before I finish up that my astrology advanced course, updated astrology advanced course, is happening in April, the week of Monday, April 13th to Friday, April 17th. It's 50% off at the moment, this advanced course, with code ADVANCED50. If you use that code upon checkout, this course will have over 20 hours of unlimited replay access video content. And I'll be doing all the classes live Monday, April 13th to 17th. If you can't join in, no worries. There's unlimited replay. And you get over 250 pages of my personal handwritten notes having to do with what we're going to talk about: house systems, interceptions, degrees, aspects, nodes of the moon, and transits, basics, and applications. So it's really in-depth. Really excited to share this with all of you. I do have my astrology beginners course available on my website as well. And I am offering discount code beginners50 for that, for anybody that would like to sign up at this time for that. So excited for that coming up. And also this week on my astrology club membership on megmoonbeam.com, we're going to do our third astrology club class, Serenity Intact. Hello, Serenity Intact. Says, really looking forward to the astrology class on derivative houses. Yes. So this week, our Astro Club class will be on derivative houses, the astrological method where you can see everybody in your life through certain astrological houses. So every child shows up in a certain house. Every lover shows up in a certain house. Every brother, every sister, every friend shows up in a certain house. So it's a really great method. I have lots of cool examples to share with you all. If you'd like to sign up for my premium or astrology club membership, those are available at megmoonbeam.com. And please remember, you guys, to like this video, subscribe to my channel, consider leaving a comment below to help with the channel's growth. It is greatly appreciated. This week on my channel, I will be sharing some videos. What am I going to be sharing about? It'll be a surprise, but there will be new content here on my public YouTube and Rumble channels. Sending lots of love your way, and have an absolutely magical Saturn sextile Pluto time. Bye, everybody.